Testing. Testing, testing. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Well, my title is It is the Privilege to Be Here. Because apparently a lot of people don't know that. What's up, y'all? What's up, Tedrick? Oh no, get Tedrick up out of here. He always be doing that, man. For real. I just realized who he was. You always doing that. And I really think that is some AI generated shit. Real talk. And I really feel like YouTube is using their little bots, you know, because that got to be like the racist comment I ever seen. You on your way to the Waffle House to let me get some damn chicken, fried chicken. Do I want some Kool-Aid with that? Absolutely not. But anyway, um, I'm gonna go to the gallery because, like, okay, so my husband did a part one on his YouTube this morning, and it was titled what was it titled? It's a privilege or something like that. Right. It was a privilege or something. I don't know. So every time he goes live and he talk about some real stuff, I'm gonna piggyback off of everything that he said, and we're gonna be doing a part two. So the part two is it's a privilege to be here. When you when you tell somebody this, they look at you as if it's like, okay, duh, I know that. Yeah, but it's deeper than that. And a lot of people don't even care to think about it that way. You know, they don't even want to go deep into thinking about how much of a privilege it is, how much of an honor it is to be here, to be alive. It's a privilege to be right. So, as you can see, my thumbnail shows a woman waking up mad as hell because apparently a lot of people tend to do that. They wake up. See, this is this is one thing I don't understand. And at the same time I do, because I was once upon a time those people that used to wake up in the morning pissed off for no reason, just mad. Just mad. But I was this year years old when I realized, um, thank you for getting the trolls up out of here. When I was this years old when I realized how much of an honor it is to wake up every single day of my life and be able to breathe again, be able to talk, be able to have all of my limbs, my fingers, my you not know how many people say stuff like this, but they don't really mean it. They don't really mean it. Just weirdos, man. Just weird. Anyway, they not finna throw me off. Um, you not know how many people they just be saying stuff just to be saying it. They don't really mean that they're happy to be alive. They just try to tell you that you should be happy to be alive. You not know how many people, right? I used to walk past every day, the same people, and they would tell me the same thing. Keep your head up, put a smile on your face. And I would say, why you keep saying that? Oh, because you just look so mad and you always walking around here with your head down. Don't judge a book by its cover. Real talk. And I'm not trying to justify depression. I'm not trying to justify, anger or anything like that. But one thing I can say is you don't never know what a person already went through and what a person already overcame. People just so quick to judge. People are so quick to assume just based off of your facial expressions. It's like, oh, you look mad. Well, you don't know what the hell I'm really thinking deep down inside. I'm actually happy. And I used to hate when I had to break that down to people because people tend to judge you off of your looks and not who you are as a person. They don't believe that you're happy, because they don't see it from the outside. They see themselves. That's what it is. But they're quick to judge you. They don't want anybody to judge them. They don't want anybody to to tell them that they look upset or keep their head up, but they're ready to judge you because you mirror them and they're just happy that they actually came across someone that looks like them, and at the same time they irritated at the fact that they see them. You follow me? Hopefully y'all do. Maybe I'm moving too fast, but I just want to say it's like you don't never know what a person already overcame before you assume that they just angry, they're violent. You don't know what a person had been through their whole life or half of their life. You can't just assume that a person is mad just because they face ain't like they not like this all day. Hello. You would think that's weird, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you see a person walking around smiling, you know, this is honestly this is a real sarcastic ass comment that I'm making. You would think that's weird, right? If a person walks around smiling all day long for no apparent reason, you would think they crazy, right? You see what I'm saying? We are so quick to judge. Why can't people just be happy? Why can't people just walk around with smiles on their face? They're crazy because they're smiling? For real? But this is just society, man. This is society. And then when you walk around like this with a blank stare, you're a threat. You're angry. You're upset. You know what I'm saying? They don't even think in their minds that you can be happy. But you see, the two, if you walk around with a smile on your face, you're crazy. And if you walk around with a damn blank stare, you're upset about something. It's like no happiness on either side. No happiness. Nobody's saying that you're happy. That is because the world normalized negativity. Negativity. And it's like, I barely see people say, oh, you look happy today. The only time that you will hear a person saying that is when it come down to materialism. Because the majority of the world tends to be happy when they get something that they wanted. But let me go to these comments that I had took a picture of, because it's gonna help me remember exactly what we was talking about. My bad. I wasn't even paying attention to your comments. You said you get what you give out. Exactly. Then you thinking something wrong with them, so you can't be. It's like you literally can't be happy any which way you look. If you walk around with a smile on your face all day, people are gonna say you're crazy, you're a lunatic. You need to be locked in a psych ward, you know what I'm saying, or locked away in prison or something like that. Just because you're happy. Just because you happy. You know? And then when you give like a blank stare and you just looking normal, something's still wrong with you. You can't even be happy from within. That's a shame. Do you not know how many people not only judge me for the way that I look and assume that I was angry and just this angry black woman, that's such a threat, by the way, but you not know how many people look at me that way, but then again, you not know how many people I can tell wants to judge me, but they're not going to judge me. They just gonna let me expose to them who I really am as a person. So they look at me and evidently, they probably thinking, oh, she just mad. Look at her, she mad. And then as soon as they spark up a conversation with me, they get the complete opposite of their thoughts, which is actually, I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm actually very happy and very, honored to be alive. Seriously. When I really tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy, especially the older folks, because they be like, what? Look at this young lady. What she know? I mean, look, wisdom don't always come with age. Real talk. And knowledge don't either. Knowledge don't come with age. Wisdom don't. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, it's like, it's not you don't have to be old. You don't have to be old in order to have wisdom and knowledge and stuff like that. Like, there's not a age range for something that God can give you. It happens to kids. And then people be like, these kids so smart nowadays. You know, so the first comment, so we were talking about how it not only is it a privilege to be here, but most importantly, you have to look at yourself like a gift to someone else. You have to look at yourself being valuable. Real talk. Because money is valuable to y'all. Materialistic things is valuable to y'all. So why isn't your life and you as a person valuable to everybody else? This is exactly why people need to understand that, number one, and most importantly, we need to understand that we got to stop allowing people to step all over us like a damn doormat. Real talk. We got to stop allowing people, to run us over. So with that being said, let me go to the comment. I said people will take you as a joke, as a game. And it is only because they take advantage of the chances that you give them, so that they don't even feel like you're serious enough. And even when you are, they think you on drugs. When you finally get so fed up and you get to a point where you tired of people playing with you and taking you for a joke, and you didn't gave them multiple chances, chances after chances to be in your life and be a part of your life, because you know deep down inside it is an honor and a privilege for someone, anybody that you know, to be in your life. So the fact that they keep playing with you, you didn't get extremely fed up. You got so fed up. Keep doing that. You got so fed up that you finally got to a point where you made them know for a fact that you really serious. You seriously cut them off, right? And they think you on drugs. Soon as you cut somebody off for the way that they treated you all that time, after you gave them chances after chances, when they don't hear from you, they believe you sprung out on drugs somewhere. Tell me, why is that though? Why is that? It's because they still can't believe it. They will never believe that you was really serious this time. They will never believe that you really meant what you said. For real. Real sad society. People really, they look at good people, and see, this message is dedicated to my good folks, by the way, to my good people, or to people that is just tired of people stepping all over them. You know, once you get serious and you get to a point where you like, you know what, I'm tired of this, man. I'm about to put my foot down. Soon as you really do, and the person really don't hear from you, they soon as so and so asks them about you, it's like, hey, you heard from Danny? Nah, I ain't heard from Danny in like 6 months. She must be off drugs. She must be drinking. Why the hell do I have to be off drugs or drinking because I decided to cut you off and your toxicity and your toxic ways? Let's go to the next one. Right. So I said, stop being a yes man to everything and everybody. If you feel like you are being treated wrong, X them out the picture. Stop allowing people to justify their reasoning for bad communication with you. X them out. We is in 2025, and you see everything that's going on, people getting fed up. They getting fed up with what's going on in the White House. They getting fed up with what the Trump administration is doing. This is my thing too. A lot of people getting fed up politically. You know, a lot of people is getting fed up financially. A lot of people is getting fed up materialistically. They getting sick and tired of not having this and not having that, and not and voting for somebody, and then coming to find out that you voted for the wrong person. People getting fed up that way. But when it come down to family and friends treating you wrong and doing you wrong, and they keep doing you wrong, and they keep stepping all over you, you gonna keep letting them do it, or are you gonna X them out? If you sick and tired of everything else in 2025, it's time to get sick and tired of them same people that you sick and tired of treating you wrong. It X them out. X them out. But you want to know what's crazy? A lot of people are very afraid to X people out because they're afraid they're gonna miss out on something. But the truth is, you ain't missing out on nothing. The difference would be there's more peace in your life than it is chaos. Because with that person in the picture, they cause nothing but chaos. They cause nothing but stress. They make you get to the point where you gotta keep questioning things, or keep saying, "Man, should I even be around this person? Or should I get him? Should I go here with that? Should I do?" Anytime you have to question that, like, X people out, leave them alone. Anytime a person keep creating chaos in your life, X them out. Stop letting them back in. It do. Their assumptions do be inaccurate. You know, I got people who has told me that, for instance, I done bypass people on a regular, real talk, on a regular, who have attempted to speak to me, but apparently they say I didn't speak back because I seem like I'm very mad. See, the thing is, I look for genuineness when people speak to me. That's the thing, you know, and I don't want the program, hey, I don't want the program, all right, bye, have a good one. I don't want the program, hello, how are you doing? I don't want the robotic ass, haze and buys. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want the real, genuine, hey, like really from the heart, really mean it. That's what I look for. And people don't understand that. And they look at me as a bad person because I don't speak back. And most importantly, I don't speak back to people that have done me wrong and played a part in doing me wrong. And then when they see me, it's like, hey, what are you talking to me for? What am I responding to you for? Make it make sense. You never took accountability for your actions in the past. So why am I speaking with you? Why are you waving at me? Why are you saying hello? You were a part of the problem. But people assume too much, and they see you on the streets and they say hey, and it's programmed as hell, and then you just like, you reserving your peace. This is what I do. Reserve my peace. I'm not finna, because when I speak back, I will genuinely speak back, and I will say, hey, how are you? And I would be looking for a response. I don't want the good. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Soon as you ask a person, hey, how you doing? I'm good. Like, everybody's good. If you really tell a person your story, you never know what type of feedback they will give. If a person say, hey, how you doing? And a person, if I say, hey, how you doing to a person, and they say, man, I'm doing so bad, I blah 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 blah, I will genuinely listen to them and genuinely respond back, because that's just how I am as a person. I'm not with the little program shit. That's what people got to understand. And they don't understand that about me. And so they believe that I'm just this angry, black chick that just want problems, that's just negative because I don't respond back when they want me to. But they got to understand I ain't obligated to do anything. And I don't follow the ways of the world. Real talk. And if I feel like you're not genuine when you speaking to me, I don't have to speak back. That is not a requirement. It is not a law, and it is not against the law to reserve your peace and to not speak to anybody. It is not against the law. Come on now. So they assume, and that's all they do. They freaking assume. So you gotta, when when we speaking in terms of communication, right? Apparently, I'm a bad communicator because I don't speak to people when they speak to me, right? But if you heard what I just said and my reasoning for why I don't just speak to anybody, then you will understand where I'm coming from. I'm not with that. And I don't have to speak to people that I feel uncomfortable being around. You a stranger. I don't know you. Stop allowing people to justify their reasons for communication. X them out. X them out. X them out. Okay. Wait, what you just say? Exactly. Exactly. Because they, right. See, that's the thing. The fact that everybody is stuck so deeply into the matrix. See, in 2025, we are at a point where you have no choice but to accept the truth or not accept it and just be blinded by the truth. The truth is there. The truth is in your face. A lot of people are starting to wake up and they starting to see the truth little by little by little. Seriously. Unfortunately, you got some people that will learn the truth and then fall right back into the matrix. But we in 2025, y'all, for real. This is getting real out here. And it once you look at AI and how AI has gotten to a point where it is literally deceiving, I'm telling you, when I'm steady seeing AI content creators, I'm steady seeing, AI short clips with AI videos and it looks real. And my bad, it looks real and people are falling for it. They're falling for it. And they're commenting in the comment section as if it's a real life situation, a real life person, a real life whatever. And it's scary. It's scary how AI deceiving the people. And people have not realized what I realized. I'm not gonna say everybody because maybe people have. Some people out here. But I can't say for the most part, people have not realized what I realized, months ago. And that was 2025 is the year of deception. Real talk. We are at a point where we are easily deceived. You could be easily deceived by AI. You definitely damn sure can be easily deceived by the people, by these politicians, by these preachers. So we really gotta wake up. We gotta wake up. We gotta wake up out of this. It is a privilege and it is an honor to be here. And most importantly, it is a privilege and an honor for anybody to be a part of your life. You are not just trash. You are not just junk. You are not a doormat. So I said it is overgrown as adults that make excuse after excuse as to why they have not contacted you or why y'all do not speak every day. They can cut you off whenever they feel like it, but they don't like the same treatment. See, this is exactly why it is very important for you to identify who you have in your life and who is a part of your life because you got people that treat you so wrong that they will literally go days without talking to you because they just feel like you don't matter. Your time is not valuable. Your time is not precious. You ain't doing nothing anyway. When you decide to be different and when you decide to be a kind-hearted, genuine person, it seems like the evil within people, they don't like that. They don't like that, so they just feel like you're doing nothing. They can call you whenever the hell they want to call you. They don't have to answer the phone when you call. They don't have to call you back when, you know what I'm saying, when they miss your call. But see, look, I want to say this. I used to be one of those people that always made myself available when people needed me. I always answer my phone. I always, if I miss a call, I'm calling back. I'm always texting back. I'm always contributing. I'm always there. I'm always the shoulder to lean on. I'm always the one that you can count on when a situation gets bad and we clash. I'm the one that's going to come back to you and say, you know what? I apologize. I was always the bigger person. Nobody else was, though. You want to know why? Because it was already normalized a long time ago. And People they just feel like, they don't have to. They don't have to do that. They don't have to clean up anything. They don't have to be cool with you. They don't have to, you know, hold on, y'all, I feel like something. But people are really like that. They really like that. And they look at you like you're nothing to them. When you thought once upon a time you was something and somebody to them. They just started treating you wrong. And it's a shame. But you know who you are and you matter. And you got to ask yourself, do you want people in your life treating you like this? Do you really want people in your life treating you like this? Do you want to continue on being treated this way? Adults, literally big, overgrown as adults, they can't even speak up and voice their opinions and voice how they feel about you. They just start cutting you off for no apparent reason. Just cutting you off, blocking your phone number, not saying nothing to you, not speaking to you, and you done treated them right. You done did everything right. And you just trying to figure out like, dang, why is they acting like this to me? How come every time they call me, I answer they calls or I end up calling them back when I miss their call, but they don't do the same for me. When I call them, they don't answer their phone. You know, when I text them, they leave me on red. They hit me up whenever they feel like it. You're just a tool to them. That's why. And they only use you in their spare time. And when they have nothing else to do, when they're bored, when they're not occupied, they look at you. You said at the speed of light. Oh, you said in life, who you know can take you a long way. At the speed of light for everyone, just open 24/7 for everyone. What you mean? Maybe I read that wrong. I don't know. And then it's like when you finally reach this person, and mind you, you're the bigger person. Evidently, they're not, even though they're adults. Even though they are an adult. Um, you said like being available for everyone, but they aren't for you. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, that's it. That's true. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you available all the time. You always there. But you want to know why you don't question yourself. Because see, that's normal. That's what normal people do. That's authenticity. That's what authentic people do. That's what real folks do. They there. They a shoulder to cry on. They gonna reply back. They gonna call you back. They gonna always give you good advice. They gonna always be there for you. They gonna always be a helping hand, no matter what, mentally, emotionally, or just giving you something. And out the kindness of their heart. That's generosity. That's real. That's normal. But what they're doing is not normal. It's not normal. And when you want to reach them and you finally get a hold of them and then you're trying to have like a woman to woman or a man to man conversation about, hey, look, I thought we was, you know what I'm saying, I thought we was friends. I thought, what's going on? Is there something that I'm doing? You being a bigger person, you asking them, and all they can say is, no, what are you talking about? No, there's nothing that you're doing. I'll just be busy. As if you don't have a life, as if you're not busy. They use their life and them being busy as a reason to not connect with you. It's always excuse after excuse. You ain't heard from them in 3 weeks. Oh, I've been doing a lot. Always an excuse. Oh, I lost my phone. Phone was broke. I don't know what's wrong with this. Man, I don't know. They do all that in front of your face when they get confronted. But you got to ask yourself, do you have time for that? Isn't it a privilege for someone to be around you? Do you just want people in your life playing in your face all the time? Do you want to keep dealing with that, or do you want your peace? Do you want respect? Because when you want respect, you demand respect. Real talk. And if you feel like you being disrespected and that if you feel like they're doing anything disrespectful to you in your face, it's time for you to speak up. Don't let it go unnoticed. Because if you do, you're going to allow it to continue to happen time and time and time again. And they just going to keep running over you because you're going to keep allowing it. We're going to go to the next comment. So I said, I was today years old when I realized how it is a privilege to be in my life. Our lives are serious. Of course, we don't like being played with unless it is someone who doesn't have the three eyes. So if y'all don't know what I mean when I say the three eyes, well, I always use the three eyes, you know, and this is something that I had came up with on my own. I didn't steal it from anybody or anything. This is just something that I came up with on my own because this is like how you can you know what I'm saying, identify a person and if they're authentic. All you have to do is look for the three eyes. Are they inconsiderate? Are they inconsistent? Or are they inconvenient? Identify them based off of those three eyes. And that's how you can tell the type of person that you're dealing with. Are you sure you want somebody in your life that is always inconsistent? They're never there. They never there for you when you need them, you know? And this go for family as well. It ain't just friends, it's friends and family. Maybe even a job. Anybody. Real talk. You're not just a doormat. Not just anybody can step over you. Even your own employer. Y'all be letting y'all supervisors and stuff like that step all over y'all and not speak up about it. They grown and you are too. They're a human and you are too. The only difference between y'all is you have very human ways and they just have very robotic ways. So be a human. Be a human and stop being programmed. Unplug from the matrix. It is not a problem for you to speak up for yourself. It is not a problem just because you want to you know, you want to be your best advocate and there's nobody else to advocate for you. It is not a problem. You are not doing anything wrong for doing that. So it's like, okay, hold on. Right. So my bad, y'all. These comments, that's why I took a picture of it because I love the topic that he was talking about on his live stream. I just took a picture of every comment that I posted and I said, you know what, I'm going to use this for my for the part 2 in my live stream. And I'm gonna make some talking points. Real talk. So basically, like I was saying, our lives is serious. We do not have in 2025, we don't have time to play. But if a person did come in your life to play with you, it is your job and your duty to identify who this person is. Who sent you? Who sent you? At some point, you got to ask, who sent you? Once you identify who, what type of person this person is, if they good for you or if they bad for you. If they good for you, good. Keep them around. If they're bad for you, get them out. X them out. You do not have time. You don't want nobody just sitting there steady playing with you. Especially if you the type of person that don't like that. You said people show how much they feel about you from the loyalty of the things we share, like time. For example, if someone is always late, basically they don't give a fuck. Exactly. And if they are on time, then it is because they are privileged. Exactly. Exactly. That is exactly how you can tell. You know what I'm saying? But that aligns with, you know, inconvenience. That aligns with inconvenience. If a person is inconveniencing you, they don't care about you. If you have a friend or a so-called friend or a family member that calls you up and they want to go to breakfast with you, they want to go to breakfast with you. They want to go and sit down for breakfast with you. At that point, if it's something that they want to do for you, they need to ask you, when are you available? You know? As soon as you tell them and you say, man, I'm available at 8:30, like from 8:30 to 9:30, that's about it. Now it's up to them to say, all right, yeah, we good. We are good. So let's just say, for instance, they ask you, you know, when is your availability? Because I want to take you out for breakfast or something. And you like, well, about 8:30, 9:30. Okay, well, can we do 8:30 to 9:30? You know, this is what they say. You like, yeah. So, you know, it is their job to be detailed enough with you. Where is this place at? You know, how am I going to get there? Are you going to pick me up, or do I need to drive, or do I need to take the public transportation? This is how you can identify if a person is inconveniencing you. Right here at this point. Especially if they are a no call, no show. Say for instance, y'all agree. They say, yeah, you know, shoot, just meet me here and I'll come and get you. Just meet me at this bus stop and I'll just, you know, when I pull up, you know, I'll be right there. You'll know that's me, right? Well, that's still an inconvenience because what happened to the phone calls? Like, ain't it supposed to be a phone call somewhere in between? This is how you can, at this point, this is when you can identify if a person is inconveniencing you. Then on top of that, most importantly, the timing. It's like the timing has to align. All right, say for instance, y'all voted on 8:30 to 9:30 for breakfast. You know the place. Y'all both know the place to meet at. You get there, they're not there. They are a no call, no show. They didn't even call you. They didn't even say they wasn't gonna show up. But this is something they wanted to do for you. You made yourself available. Although you got a lot that you doing on that same day, you got a lot more stuff to do. At 10:30 you had something to do. And then you had something else to do at 1:30. Like, you got a busy schedule, but you set time aside so this person can take you to breakfast. You get there, they're not there. They didn't even call you. And this ain't even the first time they did that. Real talk. They just that just shows you that they don't give a damn. They don't give a F like you thought they did. So are you gonna keep letting them do you like this? Or do you want peace in your life? Next comment. They do not believe that your time is valuable. As a matter of fact, they believe your time means nothing because they believe that you're not doing nothing anyway, especially if it does not align with the ways of the world. They want you to be, and this, I said this early on in the live, they want you to be just like them. They want you to be just like them. They just, they treat you so wrong that they just feel like you're trash. They feel like you're nothing. They feel like you're a piece of junk, you know? And like I said, the fact that they only use you in their spare time tells a lot. about what type of person they actually are. They only just use you when they're bored. They need you when they're bored and they don't have nothing else to do. The problem with society, exactly. The problem with society is they fear too much. They fear too much. They feel too obligated to cut you off. This is why people allow people to step over them like a damn doormat. I don't know what the hell that was. But this is why people keep allowing people to step over them like a doormat, because you're not addressing the problem. You're not addressing the problem. You're letting the problem continue to happen time and time and time again. You know, you feel afraid. You feel scared to speak up. And you feel like, it is an obligation that you allow them in your life, or else. Like, what the hell are they going to do to you if you decide to cut them off? Now, if they turn into an evil, wicked, toxic, stalking ass person, then you already know where to go from there. You already know where to go from there. But nah, don't never be afraid. If a person is doing you wrong and you sick and tired of it, it's time for you to step up and say something. Y'all be swearing up and down, y'all grown women and grown men and stuff, but y'all don't speak up for yourselves. Real talk. You quick to get into it with the ops, but at the same time, you allow your family to step all over you. You don't speak up for yourself when somebody playing with you in your face when you got to go take care of business. But you out here looking for the ops though. It's because y'all feel like speaking up for yourself is a crime. You're not going to get arrested. There will be no charges pending. They're not going to build a case against you. This is not going to go to court. This is not a criminal case if you speak up for yourself. If you feel like somebody is doing you so wrong, speak up. Because if you don't, they're going to keep doing the same shit over and over and over and over. And they get a kick out of it. And they just know that they can keep doing it because you're not going to do anything about it. You're not even going to address them. That's why they just going to keep doing it. Next comment. The biggest thing. Wait a minute. Right. The biggest thing that people fail at nowadays is, drumroll, communication. How? I thought we were adults. I thought we were adults. Since when did communication become a crime? It seemed like it is a crime to be communicative and detailed in the same breath of being communicative. Like, people just they don't do communication no more. Communication is not the damn key. Y'all steady keep saying that, but it's not. It's not the key. Because if it was, the whole world would know that. They would get that. But it seems like it's a problem when it's time to communicate. You know? People don't answer. They don't know how to answer the phone no more. They just be sitting up on social media all day. Meanwhile, you up there. You been calling them. They done told you to call them. You calling them. They not even answering the phone. Then they just call you back whenever they feel like it. They don't care about what you doing. And then when they call you back whenever they feel like it, they keep calling. Communication is against the law. It is a crime. Okay? I mean, as good as I communicate, I be swearing sometimes that, damn, let me slow down on my communication because, I don't want it to be a criminal charge against me for communicating. Like, people will look at you weird as hell just because you communicate. People look at you weird when you ask questions. People look at you weird when you when you demand respect, when you ask questions, when you're trying to be as communicative as possible, when you're constantly checking in, you're a weirdo because you're checking in, you a weirdo because you trying to make sure somebody else good. Same person that won't even make sure that you good though. It's a damn crime to be in communication. What else I say? I said I never knew how important communication was until I started hating miscommunication. I promise you, man. I mean, you know, now that I'm older, what sticks out the most to me is communication. And not just communication, but detailed communication. Real talk. Being alive, being happy to be alive and see another day. I never knew that those things would matter. I never knew that wisdom and knowledge would matter so much to me. I never knew that. And it means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot to come across a real, authentic person. To actually be around a real, true, authentic person like my husband every day. Every day. It means a lot to me. Because in this world, you get nothing but bots. Zombie bots. Everybody just programmed. Everybody say the same thing. They repeat the same thing every day of their lives. It doesn't get boring yet. Repeating the same thing when I was in the Matrix got boring to me. I promise you. Just doing everything that the world do. Waking up at the same time, eating breakfast at the same time, going to lunch at the same time, eating dinner at the same time, going to work at the same time, taking your kids to school at the same time, just doing everything at the same exact time of the world. It got boring. I was tired. I'm like, man, I don't want to do the same shit everybody else doing, getting stuck in traffic with everybody else because they're picking their kids up at school at 3 p.m. as well. Like, nah. So, anyway, we're going to go back to communication. I never knew how much communication meant to me until people started miscommunicating with me intentionally. These are their intentions. They have ill intent. So their intentions is to miscommunicate with you on purpose. They don't intend on communicating with you because you mean nothing to them. You're trash. You're junk. You're a fucking doormat. So they don't want to they communicate who the hell they want to communicate with. And unfortunately, the motherfuckers that they decide to communicate with are the people that treat them wrong. Feel me? You said I admire uncomfortable, truthful conversation. Rather, it is agreed or disagreed thing on. Disagreement going on. It helps with people who hold grudges or have them hidden. Exactly. Exactly. You know, and see, that's the thing. We live in a society where, my bad, y'all, I gotta do exercise down on my tippy toes. But anyway, just like he said, I admire uncomfortable. I love sitting down really, like when when I get cool with people, we be having some deep conversations. And there is like in those deep conversations, that's when you can feel the connection within someone. And I'm not talking about just relationships. I'm talking about when you're connecting with someone on a more deeper spiritual level, you know? When you really found someone that's just like you. Like, and we talking friendship wise, you know, or just somebody that you can genuinely speak to every time you see them, even if y'all don't exchange numbers. We know people like me and my husband know people like this. We ain't exchange numbers with these people, but every time they see us, there's a genuine respect. There's deep, truthful, uncomfortable conversations. that we have with these people. Real talk. And we just chop it up because they're not programmed like everybody else is. They're able to have these. They able to we able to disagree with them. They could say, "Oh no, I disagree with that." We're not finna get mad. We're not about to hurt nobody just because they're disagreeing with what we. You know, it's just it's deep. It's deep, and people gotta understand that for real. Next comment. Right, real recognize real. That's basically what I'm saying. but see, that's the thing. To me, speaking to somebody, when someone speaks to me, I want to be able to like really connect with that person. Real talk. I don't want a programmed as hello, hey. Even if you is saying hey and bye to me, I want it to be genuine, man. But if you intend on getting cool with me, I want to like really know who you are, who sent you. I want to be able to have that great connection with you. So I know that I can save your number in my phone. I said you have to get tired as fuck of people, places, or things in order to want change or feel like change is a factor. For real. You gotta really get fed up. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's all it takes. All it takes is for you to get fed up as a person with certain things, with certain people, with certain places. It don't matter what the hell it is. It can be a damn nail shop. It can be a barber shop. It can be a car lot that you always go to. It can be school. It can be work. Anything. Anybody. You got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired in order to really just cut ties completely and say, you know what? No more. I'm not doing this no more. I'm really standing on business this time. You know? I want change. I demand change in my life today. Starting today, I will not speak to this person. No more. No more of them doing what they've been doing to me for the last few years. No more. You gotta want that change. I'm never gonna go back to that spot again. If you say you ain't gonna go back, see, I remember when me and my husband used to say stuff like that. We'd be like, man, we ain't never going back there no more. And then we end up back there, you know? But we didn't get to a point where we actually want change. So it's like when we say we're not gonna go back somewhere and they don't deserve us as customers because of the way how we were treated. Or when we say we ain't going back to so and so house, we're not. We're not about to just be saying anything just to be saying it nowadays. And then things, objects. When you sick and tired of using that damn brush, throw it in the garbage. Stop using the shit. When you sick and tired of the bed that you lay on because it just feels so uncomfortable, stop laying in it. Well, figure out how you can goddamn fix it. And if you fix it and it still ain't changed, then you know what to do next. This is people, places, things. It doesn't matter. When you sick and tired of being sick and tired, you gotta make it stop. You know? Because change is a factor. It is. And it means a lot. It shows what type of person you are when you want change. And a lot of people, they don't want that. They don't even care about change. They don't even feel like change is important. This is why they continue to be the same people that they been 10 years ago. They still the same person, you know? A family member once upon a time told me a leopard never changes their spots. But see, what they wasn't saying is they was not only talking about themselves, but they damn sure wasn't talking about me. This is the same family member that used to tell me, oh, things don't happen overnight. And I found out later on down the line that actually, a leopard won't never change their spots if they have ill intent and if they never intend on changing them. I I used to really think that it won't happen overnight, and it does. And when I got older, it happened overnight a few times in my life. And I mean changed it. I was an angry person once upon a time. I prayed about it, went to sleep, woke up the next day refreshed and a whole new person. It was a whole new beginning for me. It happened overnight. So don't never let nobody tell you it can't happen overnight, because it can. These people is just, they be so loud. You said if you tired of your job, find another, do an interview. There you go. So you don't have to complain about your job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. And it's crazy because you the only person that's in here. Let me see. Yeah, you the only person in here that's really, but it's cool though. It's cool because I know that you really like the only genuine person there is anyway. So yeah, right. They was telling me about themselves. A leopard don't ever change their spots. Yeah, you sure don't. Right, some leopards don't have spots. That is so true. Real talk. So, what was the other one? Okay. Anytime, anytime a person has intentions to not communicate and they just love chaos, like, okay, like I was speaking of earlier on. I said when it is their intentions to miscommunicate, evidently it's because they love chaos. They want chaos. They want you to tell them that they did something wrong so they can spark up an argument with you and have a little confrontation. Ain't you tired of that? Ain't you tired of that? I said, and see, these very same people that I'm talking about that be ready for you to confront them about their wrongs so they can argue with you about what you believe that they did wrong. Evidently, not only do they want chaos, but it is because they fear you and they are jealous of you. And sometimes people will, I didn't see that. Okay. Sometimes people will hang with you and say anything out of boredom. People will create a friendship out of boredom. Yes. Just like these women and these men out here that have kids and stuff like that. And then once the kid get older, like 5 and 6 years old, they just get lazy with their parenting. And they just feel like, man, just go do your thing. Go outside. Go do this. Go do that. Go to your friend's house. They don't want to raise their child no more. Because and then they start regretting that they even had kids. They go to the internet with it. You know? Just like people like that. It's people that would literally sit out here and create a friendship out of boredom. Real talk. And that aligns with what I said when I said in their spare time, they use you. They use you. You're a tool to them. So yeah, of course, they're gonna exchange numbers. They're gonna act genuine. They're gonna act kind. They're gonna act like everything you want them to act like. But if you ain't identifying them three eyes, you don't know who the hell you dealing with. Inconvenience, inconsistency, and inconsideration. Is that one of the ones in consideration? Yeah, inconsiderate, inconvenient, in the three I's. Okay? So evidently you gotta know who you dealing with. Real talk. And if a person is creating friendships out of boredom, I mean, it's really people out here like that for real. I've dealt with them, and I had to find out the hard way that, this was actually, what the fuck is this? If you don't care, and you literally don't care if something happened to me and I tell you I'm in a hospital and you ain't trying to check on me and make sure I'm good, if I'm always the one calling you and you ain't calling back, like I spoke about earlier, you know, what the hell is this then? What type of friendship are we dealing with? If you know I'm messed up, but you know that when I got it, I got you. But when you got it, you ain't got me. I mean, what is this? What is this? People just create friendships and they don't even be realizing too sometimes. Like you just created a friendship out of boredom. You was just bored. You was just doing anything that day. Because if you want a friendship, but you don't want to um be considerate of that person's time, you know, you don't you don't want to have any consideration for that person. What are you doing? So, and then, some people, when you go from having a real good friendship, or even if it's a family member, this goes for anybody, or maybe even a coworker, and you real cool with a person, and then all of a sudden they just flip the script on you, and they just turn on you out of nowhere. Sometimes it's because people become jealous. They start to see what type of person you are and that you are a good person. And people, they envy good people. They envy kind-hearted people because they envy you because you remind them of who they could have been. Real talk. You remind them of who they could have been a long time ago. The thing is, they fail to be that person. They're stubborn to be that person. They never want to be that person. They just want to be this bad guy. They want to be the bad guy. They like it that way. They prefer it that way. But they envy you because of the kind person that you are, the genuine, authentic, real person that you are. It's a lot of people out here like that me and him got to deal with seriously on a day-to-day basis. I mean, people will literally look us up, like turn their nose up at us just because of how kind we are. You know, you kill people with kindness. You kill people with kindness. See, the thing is, they can't believe it. This is exactly why they continue to paint narratives of me and him. Me and my husband, they try to say that we're bad people, we're threats, and we are none of those things. None of those things. But I don't have time to try to sit back and prove a person right. I mean, prove a person wrong. I'm not about to prove you wrong. I'm not about to keep doing it. I am who I am and I know who I am. The problem is you don't know who you are. The problem is you're sick and tired of sitting there watching me because it is someone that you could have been. But you have an obsession. These are the same people that be like, I ain't worried about them. I ain't worried about, but they have an obsession with you, you know? They flip the script on you. Once upon a time they was cool. They flip the script on you. They become jealous of you just because of that reason. Sometimes people ain't always jealous of what you got. You know what I'm saying? They jealous of who you are as a person. They're jealous of your smarts, your beauty, you being handsome, you keeping yourself clean and tidy. You just being knowledgeable about things and you're trying to share your knowledge with them. They don't look at it that way. They look at it like, oh, here we go, Mr. or Mrs. Know It All. They look at it like, oh my God, they just saying anything. They just saying anything. They look at it like it's just such a horrible thing to be a great person, to be a good person. Well, I mean, and these the same people that claim that they believe in God. But it's deeper than that. Because when you believe in God, you're signing a contract to walk the right way, to do everything the right way, to be happy, to be positive, to be in peace, to not do any wrong. Of course, we're going to do wrong. Of course, we're going to fall on our faces. But see, there's things that you need to do to make yourself right again. When you fall on your face, you get back up, dust yourself off, keep going. Real talk. It's a few things we can do to be right again. So no, we're not Mr. and Mrs. Know It All. You know, people just don't like the fact that we have an opportunity to share what we know with them. And they look at us as bad people for that. They look at us as bad people for advocating for what's right as well. You know, of course, we would be walking threats. The thing is, if we were such a threat to society, I'm sure we would be locked away somewhere. We wouldn't even deserve to be here. It wouldn't even be an honor for us to be here. If we were such a threat, we would be walking targets out here to these YNs, okay? Because we would carry ourselves differently. We would carry ourselves with a dark cloud hovering over us. You would see the darkness within us because then, you would want us to participate in everything within the ways of the world. Same exact thing that you do, we would have been did. We would have been chasing the bag. We would have been evil, wicked people. We would have been stopped having compassion a long time ago. But that's not us, though. That's not us. We real, kind, genuine people. And people just don't like that about us. And, jealousy is a very, very wicked trait to have. Because you don't even never know anybody's true intentions behind their jealousy. This is exactly why you have to keep people like that out of your life. Out of your life. Even if that means that they don't even know you like that. And you just got, people. See, this is another thing too, and this goes in with these content creators. I know a content creator that actually has another content creator that is jealous of him, and his jealousy is extremely wicked. He's been plotting on them, these content creators kill one another over like just being you just jealous of another content creator because they got a lot of views, clicks, likes, they making a lot of money off of YouTube or whatever the case may be. So your jealousy turns into these little plots and schemes and stuff like that, which is very dangerous traps and very dangerous activity at that. But when you keep poking also to the other person, you keep showing this person everything you got to make them target you even more. See, that's the thing. You don't need to show what you have. We ain't gotta show the car that we drive. We don't have to give house tours. We don't have to show all the jewelry that we got and what we have, period. We don't have to see when you do that, you putting a target on your back. For real. And you gotta move smart out here. There's people out here that's hating on you, that's jealous of you, that was once upon a time cool with you. And they don't want to see you alive. They're hoping and bracing for the moment where they can be able to take your life or hoping that somebody else take yours. Like, you got to move smart. You cannot show the world what you have because the world and the ways of the world is a very dangerous spot to be in, especially when you stuck in a matrix. When you stuck in a matrix, but you slowly trying to creep your way out. It's like you start seeing people's true intentions, but you feel so trapped. You feel like you can't get away. You don't even understand how deep it is and how deep it goes when a person is jealous of you, when a person is hating on you. That's a very bad trait to have, a jealousy trait. And most importantly, sometimes people steer themselves away from you because they fear you. They fear your presence. Although you're not a bad person, you're not going to do anything to them. You're never going to harm a fly. You're not even that type of person. They just fear you because you're just not like them. You're not like the others. You are you. You are different in a good way, in a real way, in an authentic way. And it scares them. It it irritates their demons at the same time. And they just can't be around you. If you wondering why people keep cutting you off, yeah. Right. So my next comment was, let the system tell it we have bad communication, or we just don't know how to communicate at all. We adore great communication. It is what the world lacks, but what we see is what they lack. So, if you don't understand what I'm saying, the system has repeatedly told me and my husband that we fail at communication. We're bad communicators. They labeled us. They stereotyped us. They never got a chance to get to know us. They don't care to get to know us because that is not their intentions. Their intentions is to do their job. They have a job to do, and their job is to paint a bad picture of you so that they can go along with the narrative, and they can keep going along with the narrative because they need to get everybody else to believe that you are just this very bad person, this horrible person. You don't know how to communicate well. You don't know how to speak well. You're putting on a facade. You're a threat, things like that. Right? But what they fail to realize, and what they still fail to realize to this day, and what they're probably never gonna realize until the last minute, is the fact that me and my husband both have always adored amazing, great communication from people. We are open to very uncomfortable conversations. The problem is when we bring up uncomfortable conversations and when we ask people are they ready for it, they try to act like they're adults. They try to act like they're ready for it, but as soon as they hear us talking, it's like, oh no, ready to bag out. Next. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to be grown about it. They don't want to really talk about it. That's the thing. So we're a problem. We're a threat. Of course, when you're a good person, you're a threat to society. When you're a good person, everybody believes that you're a bad person because they need you to be just like them. They cannot believe it. They will never believe it until it's too late. They will only believe it if they saw you win the Mega Millions lottery and you donated the money into the right places. They will only believe it if you become some sort of freaking celebrity. But right now, being that you're not that and you're just a regular fucking person to them, they will never believe that you're actually a good person. They don't even understand how important it is to dive deep and really get a feel of somebody and see how they are as a person. They don't even understand how important that is. Instead, they just continue to run with the narrative. Oh yeah, they're just as bad people now. Angry black woman, angry black man. Yep. Yep, they're triggered. Yep. You know? And that's just the way that it goes with the system. Everything is written in black and white. Just like, you know, a relative can get on social media and make a status about you and put it in black and white and never take it down. And then there's thousands and millions of people that is in agreement with it just because of something that they saw that a person wrote about you. You know, like people would literally believe what they see instead of what they hear. I mean, I want to say that right. People believe what they hear about you instead of what they can actually see. They don't even, people don't even take the time to really sit down with you and really talk to you and really get to know you and really understand you. That's the problem. It's understanding. And this is what the world lacks as well. Not only just communication, but understanding. It's a shame how people just they fail to understand you. They don't even want to hear your story no more. It gets boring to them. Blah, 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 blah. If you are not doing what they're doing, which is chasing the bag, getting to the money, being invested into social media, and worried about what's going on in the latest celebrity gossip, then I mean, you don't matter. And your story doesn't either. And what you're going through, it don't matter either. Because if you're going through a struggle, you're just lazy. In their eyes, you're lazy. You're going through a struggle. You need to do something about it. Get a job. Well, damn, if it was that easy, anybody would get a job, you know? And see, that's another thing. People don't understand that in order to get a job, it takes a lot to be able to get a job, to be able to maintain a job. So it's just sad when y'all keep trying to tell people, just get a job. You know what I'm saying? If a person is trying to break down to you and tell you and explain to you their struggle and what they're going through and how it is hard for them to make it, and your only feedback is just get a job. I mean, evidently something ain't clicking right up there because y'all don't even understand that you have to have the transportation to get to and from work so that you can keep your job. Most importantly, you're not the one that knows for sure that you can maintain your job. It is up to the employer. What if they get tired of you and they just ready to let you go? That's when you get hired in. But, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. In order to get a job, you got to apply first and you got to hope and wish and pray that the damn employer, we're not going to say hope and wish, we're going to say pray. You have to pray that the employer is going to contact you back and give you the job. I hate when people be like, all you gotta do is just get a job. Well, if it was that easy, everybody would be employed. But explain to me, why is it that the unemployment rate is extremely high? Especially in certain states. Why is it that the employment rate is very high? Why is it that so many people is unemployed right now? That's because minimum wage ain't helping. And that's because, 40 hours a week ain't enough. That's pretty much like part-time hours. Full-time hours is now considered like 60 hours a week. What the fuck? You know? But people just be like, get a job. Just get a job. But like, and you have, see, as a good person, to my good people that is unemployed, you got to understand something. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you're not ready to work and you're not ready to go back to work, sit down and don't move just because a person told you to do so. Because what are they contributing to the issue? If you need to work, but you don't have the financial means to get to and from, what are they going to contribute? They so quick to open up their mouth and say, just get a job. But they ain't even trying to help you though. What's up, William? What's up, Emma? Stop moving when the world tell you to do so. If you want to be different, if you want to be you, If you want to be real, if you don't want to be a fucking zombie bot like everybody else, don't move when they tell you to do so. And I'm talking about, when I say that, I'm saying, if a person tell you, why you ain't got a job? Why don't you just get a job? You should get a job. If your family keep hounding you, steady telling you to get a job, and you know for a fact you're not ready mentally yet, don't move when they tell you to do so. Go according to how you feel. It is very important for people to understand that you got to move according to how you feel and not how someone else feels about you. Real talk. Real talk. I've been through that shit before. I had to hear family all in my ear talking about, oh, you wouldn't be homeless if you just got a job. If so, this is my thing. When I get a job, how do I know I'm going to be able to maintain my job? You got a lot of employers out here that really harass you and hound you, and they micromanage you and they pick at you. You think I'm going to allow that? I won't, because I'm not a fucking bot. Because I am not a tool. I am not a toy. I am a grown woman. I demand respect, and I don't like being mistreated. So I will speak up. And I know what that's going to come with. Real talk. This is the exact reason why a lot of jobs that I had, I either A, ended up quitting, or B, they had to fire me just because I spoke my mind. You see how dangerous it is just to be a real human being, just to be a real person. It's going to come with a lot. And see, that's the thing. The world fears that. That's why they don't speak up. They feel too obligated. This is exactly why so many people still at their job. They've been on their job for 30 plus years, still kissing ass. And then by the time they retire and they're done, they all hunched over, bent over, health issues, because they job ain't give a fuck about their health. And they damn sure didn't either. If I'm working a job and I got to get up in the morning so I can get to work, and my stomach just start bubbling, my stomach hurting, and I got to get to work. What's going to come first, the job or you? When are we going to understand that we matter more than a fucking job? Our lives and our health matters more than a job. And your health need to be up to par in order for that job to keep you. They needed you. William says, when I couldn't get a job, I started cutting grass, trees, and assisting older people. So happened to meet an older guy who was well off with a huge home. Him and his wife had a lot of little things to fix. That's what's up. For real. That's what's up. Because you will find people out there that really genuinely, would like to help you. That genuinely I remember one time, I'm gonna go back to this, right? I remember one time, years ago, when me and my husband was homeless, and we were telling people that we knew, like family and stuff and friends or whatever, what we had going on. You would think that that's when they're gonna help you, because why would you want to see your loved one out here like that? Real talk. Or try to do everything that they can to help you, at least, you know make sure they call and check on you. They see you calling them every day, so it's like, call and check on them. But that's not what happened. Instead, we got the total opposite. Everybody turned their backs on us, and before they did, they told us we need to get a job and we need to stop being lazy. Like, even after we told you the story and how it happened and how we got to this point, get a job, stop being lazy. Okay. All right. So this is at a point when we were still in the matrix, and we felt, you know, pressure from what other people were telling us to do. We felt pressured by the world. So that's exactly what we did. We ended up getting us a job. We ended up staying in a hotel. And what happened? What do you think happened? we was able to definitely, get food and stuff, and you know pay for the hotel and keep gas in the car so we can get to work and stuff like that. We literally had to beg family and friends to help us with at least $100 so we can get to and from work, so we can get our first check, and then we was gonna pay it back to them, but they refused. A total stranger helped us, though, by the way. Total stranger helped us. That's how we ended up coming up with the money to be able to get back and forth to work. And then when we did, we were successful doing that. And of course, we was on social media. So when we started posting on social media, and when we started talking to these people that we were talking to, like family and friends, you think they was happy for us? No. It wasn't satisfying enough. Because next thing they said was he needs to leave me and get out of a relationship with me, because they believe that I'm a part of the problem. It wasn't enough for them at all. And guess what ended up happening after a while? And matter of fact, within a matter of months, the job gave up on us. We didn't give up on them. They didn't like the fact that, you know, we weren't bots. They didn't like the fact that we would not let them abuse their power over us. They didn't like the fact that we didn't allow them to be racist towards us. They didn't like the fact that we spoke up and we spoke out. The job ended up firing us because they told us to stop talking to each other. They knew that we were a couple. They knew that we were working together. The supervisors would come over there and micromanage us and tell us to stop talking. Like, motherfucker, we are grown. You ain't about to tell us to shut up and stop talking for nothing. What are you talking about? And this the same job that told people to bring their friends and family to get hired in too. So you think, like, get the hell up out of here. When they fired us, we reported them to the news channel. They went under investigation. In a matter of days, they gave us the job back. They gave us the job back just to fire us again. So, when for my people out there that say, all you got to do is just get a job. Well, how the fuck will I know if I'm going to maintain the job without my employer being an asswipe, or anybody else on the job, such as the damn coworker? Because I'm not like everybody else. I speak up. You don't know how many people sat there and told me, "Oh, yo, you give up too easy. You just kiss ass. Just I'm telling you, people, my own black people literally told me, just kiss ass. Kiss ass on a job, to keep your job. And 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 do what they tell you to do. Motherfucker, I'm not gonna obey no damn company that don't give a damn about me at all. They don't gotta they don't have to experience what I have to experience. They get the clock out, go home to their family in a nice big beautiful homes. They don't have to worry about a damn thing. Meanwhile, they're oppressing their employees. Make that make sense. And you think I'm going to sit here and let a motherfucker disrespect me? Absolutely the hell not. William says, I ended up going to a staffing agency jobs for a year or two. One job hired me as a quality control manager after 6 months or so of temp work. And see, that's what I'm saying. Because the jobs that we've had was temp work, you know, and it was paying decent. I'm not gonna lie, because we was able to keep the hotel room and stuff like that. The guy, the owner of the hotel, he thought he was doing us a favor, giving us $10 off and shit. Meanwhile, we up here spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars like weekly, but we was still making away. Cause see, this was this was like 2021. This was when, and as the economy wasn't extremely high. But evidently it was. Matter of fact, I take that back. It was, because still a 1 bedroom in the city of Chicago was like $1,400. There is no fucking way. Then they talking about 3 to 4 times the rent. Who has that? Who the fuck has that? Even in the hood, you can't even get you a 2-bedroom apartment in the hood for a, you know what I'm saying, for a small amount. You no, they talking about 15 to $1,800, 3 to 4 times the rent. Like, and then it's so many different requirements. Like, it's horrible nowadays, you know. So I can only imagine how it is now in 2025, honestly. But yeah, evidently the economy was high, but when we speaking in terms of before we got stable housing and stuff like that, um paying for the hotel rooms, it kind of was breaking us a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but we needed to sleep somewhere. It was times where we made sacrifices and we just slept in the car. And then when we slept in the car, we just went to work from there. We took wash ups in Walmart bathroom or whatever, went to the gym and stuff like that, and then just went to work. And then we made enough money to be able to get another hotel room. Like, that shit will break your pockets. Homelessness is expensive. Seriously. It is, and people just be like, get a job. Why? So I could still be homeless? And in these shelters, they not helping. They don't give a fuck. Yes, during my homeless period, I was in a couple of shelters that didn't give a fuck about me. And I decided, you know what? I would rather sleep in my fucking car. You know? You said, yeah, in Chicago, ain't nothing shaking like that. Champ, mess around, get hurt. I remember I tried to ask for help for me and my wife when we was homeless. They called the police fast as hell. We ain't even have gas. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They called the police on us, man. I mean, I remember when we had our snow removal business. It was booming. Real talk. It was booming. A lot of people a lot of people in the city of Chicago was hitting us up and stuff like that. That's how we was able to make money as well. Cause when the temp agency fired us and stuff like that, we had side gigs that we created on our own. We had we had 2 businesses, that was actually doing good. All it took was a smear campaign on our names for somebody to flip our shit upside down. And this is what they do to people, business owners and stuff like that, or people that's trying to run their own business. When people start seeing what you're doing and how you getting it and how you really getting good and you getting a lot of clientele, they just start throwing dirt on your name, posting stuff on social media, lying on you, out of jealousy, out of hate. So, and like, you know, at the end of the day, these people that be saying get a job, they they get to go home at night, you know? They don't have to worry about homelessness. And they damn sure ain't gonna help you out of it. They just gonna keep bashing you. And then when you get to a point where you're like literally like, no, I need to like gain some mental stability for a second. I need to gather myself together, take a breather away from this work shit for a second. Uh, it's like now you lazy. Now you lazy because you need time to be able to sit down and really think and say, okay, how am I? That's all it really took. Real talk for me and my husband. We stopped listening to people. It got to a point where during our homeless period, we cut people off that were still trying to make themselves relevant in the picture. We cut them off. But the people that seen what we was going through that didn't give a damn about us, they cut us off. So it was like 50-50. um we stopped giving a fuck after a while about what people thought about us, how they felt about us, because we began to realize like these motherfuckers ain't helping us. They not contributing to our issues. Why do we care? Why do we care about what they think about us? If they feel like, oh, you broke, oh, you homeless, oh, you ain't doing enough, oh, you not doing that, oh, you like this, oh, you like that, oh, you're lazy, oh, you can't never keep a job. Feel like how you feel. But I'm not you. I don't kiss ass. Okay? Because people literally have told us Kiss ass. I'm telling you, people have told us to kiss ass. And also, most importantly, that was around the time too when you know the you know the jab, CV-19, people was getting jabbed up, and in order to keep your job and stuff like that, you had to be jabbed up, and we just wasn't doing it. We weren't doing it, and it wasn't because we were following behind everybody else and we're followers. No, we knew the truth. We knew the truth about that stuff. We don't want that shit inside of our bodies. Real talk. So people felt, it was this one lady, right? We reached out to her during our homeless period. Um, Someone had provided us with her number, and she happened to be a pastor of a church. Now, this was around the time we had our snow removal business. She wanted us to clean her, clean the snow from in front of her, remove the snow from in front of her church and stuff like that. So we came up with a plan, and she paid us in advance to do it. She decided to pay us in advance. Um, we did what we were supposed to do. She called us back and she was not satisfied. She was a very angry, evil, wicked pastor, by the way. Wish I knew her name, so never mind. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, she was very evil person. And honestly, when we told her our situation, you would think as a pastor, we was referred to her, by the way, because she had some sort of organization where she helps homeless people and stuff get on their feet. So when we told her our situation, she said, "Oh, well, did you get the VAX?" And we was like, "No." Like, as a pastor, why the fuck would you promote that? Come on now. That just goes to show that that is proof in a pudding enough to know that these pastors be having a 501c. Real talk. Because you pushing the wrong thing. You pushing the wrong thing. We were talking to her like normal people at first. She was talking to us like normal people at first. Then all of a sudden, bam, in the midst of the conversation, she was like, "Did you get the VAX?" I'm like, "No." "Well, why didn't you get it? You need to get it because if you don't get it, you're not gonna have a job. You're gonna be without a job." She really tried to put fear in us. And I looked at him and I was like, "And this supposed to be a pastor of a church?" And she said, I said, "Well, I'm not getting that stuff in my body, pastor. I'm not going to be doing that." "And why is that?" "God created these things for us to have so it can protect our health and it can protect us from." I mean, this lady was going back and forth with me. She started getting upset and everything, you know. By the way, she never helped us. She bashed us because we decided that we didn't want to get jabbed up and stuff like that, and we were just such horrible human beings for not doing that. She said that she actually was partnered with um a job where they hire people in immediately, but the only thing is you need to be jabbed up and you need to show certification that you were jabbed up. And she was like, "I can get you in immediately tomorrow." And it felt like if we was to do that, we was gonna be doing deals with the devil. That's how it felt. And I told him, I'm like, we both was like, "Hell no. If you want us to clean in front of your church, we'll do that, ma'am. You know, just let us know when we need to go." She paid us in advance, but she got upset at the fact that, we didn't do it. I don't know. I guess she wanted us to be like her Cinderellas. Like, what the fuck? And we did it perfect though. We took pictures and everything. And she drove by the church and said she didn't like it. People are evil. Real talk. Especially most black folks. Evil as hell. And a lot of people, I'm gonna start getting ready to close this out, y'all. A lot of people, I didn't even get all the way through because I have actually a few more, a few more comments that I had made that I wanted to throw in there, but I ain't got much time left at all. So I just want to say, like, it's a privilege. It's an honor and a privilege for all of us to be here. Let's demand respect from people. Don't allow nobody to step over you like you a little doormat. Don't allow nobody to treat you like you a piece of trash, like you a piece of junk. Real talk. Your life matters. And also, most importantly, the people that you have a part of your life, that matters as well. You don't want chaos in your life. You want peace, right? So if you want peace, then you need to maintain that peace. And also, I don't want to encourage nobody and stop nobody from doing what they've been doing their whole lives. But I'm going to just say this: pay attention to the people that say hey and bad to you. Pay attention to if they really mean it. Pay attention. Oh, yeah, it's deeper than that to me. And it means a lot to me. And if your life means a lot, that means a lot. I just feel like, in my eyes, that is just something that I have grown to believe that is not a play toy. For real. Because you could be speaking to the devil himself. Real talk. I just want to say, stop waking up out the bed pissed off and angry and stuff like that for no apparent reason. It is an honor and a privilege to be alive. It really is. And it means so much. It means that somebody just lost their life just now. Just a few minutes ago, someone probably lost their lives. It's children that lost their lives yesterday in the state of Minnesota. A mass shooting. Real talk. The problem is people believe that they are immortal. And when you tell a person that they need to value their life and they need to understand that it is very important for us to be here, it is an honor and a privilege for us to be here. You got to understand that. Don't just take that and play around with it, because it is really serious for real. Our time can come at any given second. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's just the harsh truth for you. Your time can come at any given second. For real. People, it's a very uncomfortable conversation to have with people that don't want to hear it, though. That's the thing. You are not immortal. You will not live on forever. We all will die at some point. The thing is, you never know when it can happen. And if your loved ones were still here, they will tell you the same exact thing. You think a friend or a family member knew when the hell they was about to die? No, they didn't. Now, if they sick as hell and they got a lot of health issues going on with them, they know eventually their time will come. But the thing is, you never know what the time or the day that it can happen, the month, the year, nothing. So we need to really value our lives because it means a lot. Real talk. Make somebody smile today. Make somebody happy. Most importantly, make yourself happy. And after this live stream, don't feel upset about anything that I said. Just really take in what I said because it means a lot. Wake them folks up.